Welcome to Central Park Greyhound Stadium. Today's host for the Anglo-Irish Greyhound Sales. Event organiser Mark Sullivan has sourced 34 dogs. They've made their way over from Ireland today. I've got all the details here. My first ever Greyhound Sales. I'm looking forward to finding out how it all works.
Well, the day begins around 9 o'clock for us. The dogs arrive at 9. They come from various parts of Ireland, and the dogs will then be presented to the vet, who will give them a thorough check. First of all, they will have a sample, of course. They will get sampled. And then they will have the vet, will give them a thorough check, and then the kennel, of course. And then, obviously, we have the trials itself. And then towards the afternoon, once the trials are over, the auction begins, and we auction the dogs, and then presumably they'll find new owners. If not, then the vendors will either take them back to Ireland, or some of the vendors will have people here who will then take them to kennels, like sort of Dean Charles. I know he takes up for the dogs for Michael Dunphy and the Droopys occasionally, and them sort of people. Elaine Parker would pick up dogs perhaps for Michael up at Sheffield, and they would take them into the tracks themselves. So the process is quite a smooth thing. It runs really well, and it's well practiced now.
Plenty of dogs on the card here today. Where do you get them from?
Well, we have a bank of about 20 vendors, all of whom know when the sales are, and I'll obviously ask them at the time, have you got anything for certain sales, and they'll just produce the dogs for them. We try to get inexperienced or young dogs from Ireland with a bit of scope, but we do have, as you've seen today, some more from more experienced dogs, older dogs who are more well versed in racing. So we have a general mix of dogs, and we try to get a dog for every pocket. Obviously, there's going to be the people out there for the £5,000 or £6,000 dog, but then again, the £400 or £500 dog. We have a minimum bid of £350. Nothing will be sold here for less than £350. That's something that's important to us, because it precludes people buying dogs for other means as such, so we price them out of the market, hopefully.
The vet report you showed me is really thorough.
Very comprehensive. Yeah, the vet here he's done a real big report. We like to make sure that the people who are buying the dogs know everything about the dogs in terms of their general health and any sort of minor injuries they may have before they bid for them. That's important, obviously.
So you're the vet here, which is very important on a day like today in terms of welfare. Tell us exactly what you do today.
So basically, when the dogs come in at first, we give them a really thorough check over, make sure there's no sort of issues with the dog, make sure they're generally quite healthy and in good condition, basically. That way then the buyer knows they're getting a good dog, and any little problems that we do come across, some of them missing toes, but they all had toes today. The most common thing really is undescended testicles, or little scars from old wounds, that sort of thing. Just that they know everything before they buy.
There's many ways to buy a greyhound, but there are advantages to buying them at the sales, and one of those is that the buyers do have some sort of backup, don't they, if things don't go to plan?
They do. First of all, we have a 21-day non-fighter warranty, which means that if the dog is involved in aggressive interference and is disqualified at the GB track 21 days after the sale, within 21 days, then the person who's bought the dog is entitled to their money back in full. Obviously, the dope testing as well. They're tested. If the dog fails a dope test, then again, the buyer will have the option of his money back, should he wish to have his money back. And generally speaking, firstly the vet in attendance before and after the trial, and then the person who's buying the dog can then put their hands over the dog before even, you can say to one of the vendors, do you mind if I just feel the dog? And they're allowed to do that as well. So it gives them that hands-on approach as well, and it certainly helps, I think, yeah.
Frank, good to see you here today. You've got space in your kennel for some dogs, have you?
Yeah, we've got a good few spaces, probably about 10. So yeah, to see what money they go for, and go from there,
What have you got your eye on?
The two Droopys dogs, midway through the card, they went well enough, look very green. So yeah, just see, it's all about value really, just to see what they go for,
What sort of money would you be looking at spending at these sales?
As least as possible. No, they're babies, the Droopys are, they're doing well, they're well done, well bred. They've got plenty of coats on them still. So, a couple of grand, around that sort of price.
So, Claude, you're an old hand at these sales. You've got your own a couple of bitches here today. Yeah,
just a couple of mediocre graders. I just thought they run well enough to be graders at home. You know what I mean? Trying to build my kennel strength up again a bit. It's hard now. You have to buy a few dogs around because the owners ain't there.
Surely a thousand's going to start in on this one. 1,000 at the back. 1,000. Is that 14? 14 in front. I've got 14 in front. I haven't got 15 anywhere. I haven't got 15 anywhere. 15 right hand side. 16? 16 in front. 17? 16 in front then going one set. 16 in front going twice. Looking around the room then. 16 in front then. 1600. Thank you very much. Do apologise. That was in my run.
So Claude Gardiner and one of his owners, Ian Andrews, joins me here now. They've bought 4 dogs between them today. Ian, tell us what you bought.
We've bought 2 sisters, Gail, Molly and Minnie. There's also a DROOPYS, MENIOKIO and Kip and Celine.
Claude, 4 dogs. One of them looked really good, one that you were keen on, Kip and Celine.
Yeah, I mean to say it's a reasonable price, and just wanted some graders anyway for the kennel. So hopefully they all work out well, and hope we can get a couple of buyers for them.
Do you think you've got any bargains today?
I think the DROOPYS dog was the bargain of the day, really. I put a bid in thinking that, somebody's got to sell something, and I got it, It was a good price, and I think he's got a lot to come.
And that was DROOPYS?
MENIOKIO.
So we'll follow that one at home. And yours, Claude. Good luck. Wish you all the best with them.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
1-6 to the counter. 1-6 left hand side. 1-7. 1-7 right hand side at the top. 1-7 right top. 1-8. Going once on the right hand side at 1700. Going twice 1700. Looking around the room then one more time. 1700 right hand side. Sold.
So Frank, congratulations, 3 purchases for you today. DROOPYS Praise there on the far side was definitely a planned purchase. Then we've got KNOCKMANT RHYS here, and then also on the end there, Corin Nod, who I think looking at him we can see there's plenty more to come from him first of all.
Yeah, start off with, just get him home and have a good dinner really, and hopefully he'll grade for us. He's well outside grading today, but he's not an expensive purchase, so we'll just see how he goes. We've got him marked up anyway.
Good for you for taking him home. I'm definitely going to follow that one's progress with interest. The Pride dog certainly looks a really nice shaped dog.
Yeah, he's quite a thick-set dog. He should grow into a bit of a stayer sort of thing. He come from behind in his trial today, poor sectional, and he's got plenty of growing to do as well. And the other fella here, he's a race dog, so he's up together a bit, but we're just getting graded on. That's what we need at the minute, some graders, So yeah. I'm pleased.
If you 2 are out in it, if them 2 bidders are out in it, we've got 2,300 on the right side going once. 2-4, 2-4, 2-4 right hand side, 2-5, 2-5, 2-6, 2-6, 2-7, 2-7, 2-8, 2-8, 2-9, 2-9, 3,000. 2-9 on the right hand side going once in, 2-9 on the right hand side going twice. Sold 2,900. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, Jordan, congratulations, the new owner of DROOPYS Judge, and the most expensive purchase today. But do you think you got a reasonable price?
Yeah, I spoke to one of my pals in Ireland, little Ryan, and we looked at the breeding, and really well bred. And I clock dogs around here on trials, usually on a Tuesday, and sectional to Fur Ben I thought was fantastic for a pup. If
you look at his coat, he is just like a big brown fluffy bear. It looks like there could be lots of improvement to come from him. So he's going to be trained by Spencer Marais here at Central Park. A bit unfair to ask you what your expectations are of him, but would you be hopeful that he could even potentially make open class?
He's going to win the Derby, isn't he, Julius? Every owner's dream. I don't want to take that away from myself, but look, he's, at the end of the day, you take chances on these pups, don't you? And so hopefully, you don't know what it is, but you take your chance. If he was an absolute aeroplane, I wouldn't be able to afford him. Maybe 30, 40 grand. But look, he's got a chance. But yeah, we're going to win the Derby, I think.